Om Stabhakaya ca dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Stabhakaya ca dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, and the Supreme God Incarnate, who came to establish universal religion. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic I have chosen, influence of Upadhis on the soul. Upadhi means conditioning. The whole universe is under the impact of the Upadhis. So we should know how we are reduced ourselves into a helpless state by identifying ourselves with the Upadhis. Upadhis are the cause of bondage. In order to release from bondage, in order to release from miseries and sufferings, one has to go beyond the Upadhis. So we should know clearly how this Upadhi causes bondage. Sri Ramakrishna has dealt with this subject in a very clear way. Sri Ramakrishna has said, ego alone is the cause of bondage. Every one of us is highly influenced by our treacherous ego. It is because of this ego we are committing all sorts of crimes, sins, violence, hatred, anger. All these things are being done on account of this wretched ego, and we are just totally identifying with that. Vijay Krishna Goswami, he asked the question to Sri Ramakrishna, Master, why are we bound like this? Why don't we see God? Sri Ramakrishna answers, Maya is nothing but the egotism of the embodied soul. This egotism has covered everything like a veil. All troubles come to an end when the ego dies. If by the grace of God a man but once realizes that he is not the doer, then he at once becomes a Jivan Mukta. Though living in the body, he is liberated. He has nothing else to fear. Sri Ramakrishna says further, this Maya, that is to say, the ego, is like a cloud. The sun cannot be seen on account of a thin patch of cloud. When that disappears, one sees the sun. If by the grace of the Guru one's ego vanishes, then one sees God. Sri Ramachandra, who is God himself, was only 2.5 cubits ahead of Lakshman. Sri Ramakrishna tells this in the Gospel. But Lakshman couldn't see him because Sita stood between them. Lakshman may be compared to the Jiva and Sita to Maya. Man cannot see God on account of the barrier of Maya. Just look. I am creating a barrier in front of my face with this towel. He put the towel in front of his face. Now you can't see me, even though I am so near. Likewise, God is the nearest of all, but we can't see him on account of this covering of Maya. Maya creates Upadhis. The Jiva is nothing but the embodiment of Chidananda. That's why Swami Vivekananda declared, each soul is potentially divine. We are immortal by nature. How can that be? Because that is a fact. We are suffering because we are not realizing the truth. So, the goal of spiritual practice is to go beyond the Upadhis, to know thyself. By knowing yourself, you know the whole secret and mystery of the creation and everything. Knowing which, you know everything. Nothing else to be known. Shankaracharya says this in the Atmabodha and Vivekananda. Knowing that there is nothing to be known. Realizing that you will be having experience of immense, ecstatic, immeasurable joy. So, Sri Ramakrishna says, it is very important for us to know the nature of the Upadhi. Don't keep on grumbling. I am suffering, what to do, etc., etc. You must know the correct way of dealing with the problem. That's why the spiritual teachers are called Bhavaroga Vaidyas. They are the doctors to treat this disease of wretched worldliness. Sri Ramakrishna says, each Upadhi changes man's nature. Upadhi means veil, a garb, container. If a person wears a fine black bordered cloth, you will at once find him humming Nidhu Babu's love songs. Then playing cards and a walking stick follow. The dress makes him like that. If even a sickly man puts on high boots, he begins to whistle and climbs the stairs like an Englishman, jumping from one step to another. If a man but holds a pen in his hand, what he will do? He scribbles on any paper he can get hold of. Such is the power of the pen. That is Upadhi. Sri Ramakrishna tells further, money is also a great Upadhi. We have become drunken on account of this money Upadhi. Terribly drunken. The possession of money makes such a difference in a man. He is no longer the same person. Sri Ramakrishna tells his own experience. A Brahmin used to frequent the temple garden. Outwardly he was very modest. Sri Ramakrishna said, one day I went to Konnagar with Hriday. Hriday also would always accompany Sri Ramakrishna. No sooner did we get off the boat than we noticed the Brahmin seated on the bank of the Ganges. We thought he had been enjoying the fresh air. But looking at us, the Brahmin said, hello, there, priest, how do you do? Sri Ramakrishna said, I marked his tone and said to Hriday, see, the man must have got some money. That's why he talks that way. Hriday laughed. Another example Sri Ramakrishna gives. These are all thought-provoking examples, really. If you are open-minded, very serious about spiritual practice, every line, every word what Sri Ramakrishna uttered is most important. Sri Ramakrishna gives another example. It so happened a frog had $1 which he kept in his hole. One day an elephant was going over the hole. Elephant. And immediately frog coming out of the hole in a fit of anger raised his foot as if to kick the elephant and said, what? How dare you walk over my head? Such is the pride that money begets. One can get rid of the ego when? After the attainment of knowledge. On attaining knowledge, one goes into samadhi. What happens in samadhi? The ego disappears. But it is very difficult to obtain such knowledge. It is true, but you have to work very hard to have that knowledge. You need constant spiritual education. You must attend constant retreats and practice sincerely. Then slowly things come out. It is said in the Vedas, that a man experiences samadhi when his mind ascends to the 7th plane. That is Sahasrara chakra. There are 7 chakras on this, situated on the backbone, spinal cord, of everyone. But we must know how to tap those chakras. Finally, when you reach this Sahasrara chakra, which is in the brain center, you will get into Samadhi state. The ego can disappear only when one goes into Samadhi. Till then the ego persists. I. Where does the mind of a person ordinarily dwell? Where? Sri Ramakrishna puts the question and answers himself. The mind of a person dwells in first three planes. The first three chakras on the spinal cord, on the backbone of every person. What are these three centers where the mind of a person ordinarily dwell? These are at the organs of evacuation and generation, and at the navel. Then the mind is immersed only in worldliness, attached to lust and gold. A person sees the light of God when his mind dwells in the plane of the heart, which is called anahata. When his mind is well established in that location, he sees the light, tremendously mellow, uplifting, joyful light he sees, and exclaims, "Oh, what is this? What is this?" The next plane is at the throat. When the mind ascends to the next plane, in the forehead, between the eyebrows, he sees the form of Satchidananda and desires to touch and embrace it. But is unable to do so. It is like the light in a lantern, which you can see but can't touch. You feel as if you are touching the light, but in reality you are not. When the mind reaches the seventh plane, then the ego vanishes completely and the man goes into Samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish Chandra Ghosh, who became a great devotee whose life was totally transformed coming in contact with Sri Ramakrishna. He said to him, "Girish, you utter many abusive and vulgar words, but that doesn't matter. It is better for these things to come out. There are some people who fall ill on account of blood poisoning. The more the poisoned blood finds an outlet, the better it is for them. At the time when the Upadhi of a man is being destroyed, it makes a loud noise as it were." Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of wood. Wood crackles when it burns. There is no more noise when the burning is over. You will be purer day by day. You will improve very much day by day. People will marvel at you. Then Sri Ramakrishna says to Girish, "I may not come many more times, but that doesn't matter. You will succeed by yourself." Sri Ramakrishna assures him. Younger Naren, he asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Master, do we have any free will?" Sri Ramakrishna said, just try to find out what this I is. While you are searching for I, capital I, he comes out. I am the machine and he is the operator. You have heard a mechanical toy that goes into a store with a letter in its hand. You are like that toy. God alone is the doer. Do your duties in the world as if you were the doer, but knowing all the time that God alone is the doer and you are the instrument. That attitude must be very firm. As long as the Upadhi exists, there is ignorance. I am a scholar. I am a Jnani. I am wealthy. I am honorable. I am the master, father, teacher. All these ideas are begotten of ignorance. I am the machine and you are the operator. That is knowledge. In the state of knowledge, all upadhis are destroyed. When the log is burnt up entirely, there is no more sound, no heat either. Everything cools down. Peace, peace, peace. One can see God's form. One sees God when all upadhis disappear and reasoning stops. Then a man becomes speechless and goes into samadhi. Coming to the theatre, people indulge in all kinds of gossip. But the moment the curtain goes up, all conversation stops. The spectators become fully absorbed in what they see on the stage. Someone remarked, Sri Ramakrishna said, that I was a Brahmajnani. So the Vaishnava Pandits wanted to test me. One said, why hasn't he beads and a mark on his forehead? Another person replied, they have dropped from him as a dry branch from a coconut tree. It was there that I learnt this illustration of the dry branch of a coconut tree. The upadhis, limitations, drop when one attains knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna, accompanied by Manilal Malik, M and several other devotees, was in a carriage on his way to Ram's new garden. The garden, which Ram had recently purchased, was next to Surendra's. Ram adored the master as an incarnation of God. He visited Sri Ramakrishna frequently at Dakshineshwar. Manilal Malik was a member of the Brahma Samaj. The Brahmins do not believe in divine incarnations. Master said to Manilal, in order to meditate on God, one should try at first to think of him as free from upadhis, limitations. God is beyond upadhis. He is beyond speech and mind. But it is very difficult to achieve perfection in this form of meditation. But it is easy to meditate on incarnation of God, born as man. Yes, God in man. What is after all this body? This body is a mere covering. It is like a lantern with a light burning inside, or like a glass case in which one sees precious things. Dr. Sarkar asked Sri Ramakrishna, let me ask you something. Why do you ask me to cure your illness? Sri Ramakrishna replied, I talk that way as long as I am conscious of the jar of the ego. Think of a vast ocean filled with water on all sides. A jar is immersed in it. There is water both inside and outside the jar. But the water does not become one unless the jar is broken. It is God who has kept this jar of the ego in me. Doctor asked, what's the meaning of ego? And all that you are talking about. You must explain it to me. Do you mean to say that God is playing tricks on us? Girish said, Girish was also there. Sir, how do you know that he is not playing tricks? Master said smilingly, it is God who has kept this ego in us. All this is his play, his leela. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example. A king has 4 sons. They are all princes. But when they play, one becomes a minister, another one a police officer, and so on. Though a prince, he plays as a police officer. Then he said to doctor, listen, if you realize Atman, you will see the truth of all I have said. All doubts disappear after the vision of God. Doctor asked, sir, is it ever possible to get rid of all doubts? Sri Ramakrishna said, learn from me as much as I have told you. But if you want to know more, you must pray to God in solitude. Ask Him why He has so ordained. Then Sri Ramakrishna again, see, all his teachings are followed by similes. Nice similes. Here he says, the son of the house can give a beggar only a small measure of rice. But if the beggar asks for his train fare, then the master of the house must be called. The doctor remained silent. Sri Ramakrishna said, he said to Dr. Sarkar, well, you love reasoning. All right. Let us reason a little. Listen, according to the Jnani, there is no incarnation of God. Krishna said to Arjuna, you speak of me as an incarnation of God. Let me show you something. Come with me. Arjuna had followed Sri Krishna a short distance. When Sri Krishna asked him, what do you see there? Arjuna replied, a big tree with blackberries hanging in bunches. Sri Krishna said, those are not blackberries. Go nearer and look at them. Arjuna went nearer and saw that they were Krishnas hanging in bunches. Not blackberries, Krishnas. Do you see now? Said Krishna. How many Krishnas like me have grown there? Kabir Das said of Krishna. He said of Krishna, he danced like a monkey to the clapping of the gopis. As you go nearer to God, you see less and less of His Upadhis, His attributes. A devotee at first may see the deity as the 10-armed Divine Mother. When he goes nearer, he sees her possessed of 6 arms. Still nearer, he sees the deity as a 2-armed Gopal. The nearer he comes to the deity, the fewer attributes he sees. At last, when he comes into the presence of the deity, he sees only light without any attributes. Listen a little to the Vedantic reasoning. A magician came to a king to show his magic. When the magician moved away a little, the king saw a rider on a horseback approaching him. He was brilliantly arrayed and had various weapons in his hands. The king and the audience began to reason out what was real in the phenomenon before them. Evidently, The horse was not real, nor the robes, nor the armor. At last they found out, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the rider alone was there. The significance of this is that Brahman alone is real and the world unreal. Nothing whatsoever remains if you analyze. The true nature of the jiva is eternal existence, knowledge, bliss. It is due to egoism that is limited by so many upadhis, limiting adjuncts, and has forgotten his real nature. The nature of the jiva changes with the addition of each upadhi. When a man dresses like a fop, wearing a fine black bordered muslin, the love songs of Nidhubabu spring to his lips. A pair of English boots inflates even a languid man with the delight of vanity. He begins to whistle immediately. And if he has to ascend a flight of stairs, he leaps up from one step to another like a sahib. If a man holds a pen in his hand, he will go on scribbling carelessly on any paper he happens to get. As the snake is separate from his slough, even so is the spirit separate from the body. The self is not attached to anything. That is the individual consciousness. Pleasure, pain, sinfulness, righteousness, etc. can never affect the self in any way, but they can affect those who identify themselves with the body, as smoke can blacken only the wall but not the space enclosed within it. The Vedantists say that the Atman is completely unattached. Sin or virtue, pain or pleasure cannot affect it. But they can inflict sufferings on those who have attachment to the body. The smoke can soil the walls, but can do nothing to the sky. Men are of different natures according to the preponderance of sattva, rajas or tamas in them. Though all souls are one and the same in their ultimate nature, there are four classes according to their respective conditions. They are baddha or bound, mumukshu or struggling for liberation, mukta or emancipated, and nitya mukta, ever free. A fisherman cast his net into the river and had a large haul. Some fish lay in the net calm and motionless, not exerting in the least to go out of it. Others struggled and jumped but could not extricate themselves, while a third class of fish somehow managed to force their way out of the net. In the world, men too are thus of three kinds: those who are bound and never strive to be free, those who are bound but struggle for freedom, and those who have already attained freedom. Sri Ramakrishna again explains, men are like pillowcases. The color of one may be red, that of another blue, and that of a third black, but all contain the same cotton within. So it is with man. One is beautiful, another is black, a third holy, and a fourth wicked, but the divine being dwells in them all, like cotton in all the pillowcases. The outer layers of cakes are made of rice flour, but inside they are stuffed with different ingredients. The cake is good or bad according to the quality of its stuffing. So also all human bodies are made up of one and the same material, yet men are different in quality according to the purity of their hearts. A Brahmin's son is no doubt a Brahmin by birth, but some of these born Brahmins grow up into great scholars. Some become priests, some others turn out to cooks, and still others roll themselves in the dust before courtesans' doors. Acharya Shankar has very beautifully explained the idea of Upadhi in his famous composition Atma Bodha. It's a famous textbook. Atmabodha. Yathakasho hrishikesho nanopadikato vibhuhu tad bhedat bhinnavad bhati tannashe kevalo bhavet. Shankaracharya says there, the all-pervading akasha, sky, appears to be diverse on account of its association with various conditionings, upadhis, which are different from each other. Space becomes one on the destruction of these limiting adjuncts. So also, the omnipresent truth appears to be diverse on account of its association with the various upadhis and becomes one on the destruction of these upadhis. Nanopadivashadeva jativarnashramadyaha atmanyaropitasto ye rasavarnadi bhedavat. Because of its association with different conditionings, conditionings means upadhi, such ideas as caste, color and position are superimposed upon the Atman as flavor, color, etc. are superimposed on water. Anaddi vidya nirvachya karanopadi ruchyate upaditritayadanyam atmanam avidya, ignorance, which is indescribable and beginningless, is a causal body. Know for certain that Atman is other than these three conditioning bodies. Nishidya nikilopadhinneti neteti vakyataha vidyadaikyam mahavaikya jivatma paramatmanoho. By a process of negation of the conditionings, through the help of the scriptural statement, that is, not this, not this, it is not this, it is not this, the oneness of the individual soul and the Supreme Soul, as indicated by the great Mahavakyas, has to be realized. Jivan muktastu tadvidvan purvopadi gunan tyajet sachidananda rupatvat bhaved brahmara kitavat. A liberated one, endowed with self-knowledge, gives up the traits of his previously explained upadhis, and because of his nature of Sachidananda, he verily becomes Brahman, like the worm that grows to be a wasp. Upadhistopi tad dharme ralipto vyomavan munihi sarvavin mudhavatishte dasakto vayuvacharet. Though he lives in conditionings, upadhis, he, the contemplative one, remains ever unconcerned with anything, or he may move about like the wind, perfectly unattached. Upadhi Vilayad Vishnau Nirvishesha Vishen Munihi Jale Jalam Vyad Vyomni Tejas Tejasi Va Yatha. On the destruction of the upadhis, the contemplative one is totally absorbed in Vishnu, the all-pervading spirit, like water into water, space into space, and light into light. In Vivekananda also, Shankaracharya explains this idea of upadhi. In essence, they are one. The differences arise only through upadhi or qualification. Shankaracharya says, what is the upadhi of God and what is the upadhi of individual embodied soul? It tells clearly. The upadhi of God is Maya, which is the cause of Mahat and its works. The 5 sheets, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, etc., and their works are the upadhi of the Jiva, embodied being. both are one substance, which with Maya and Math are God. The same substance with the 5 sheets is a Jiva. Take away the Upadhis and you have the same thing. He gives the example. Take away the throne or the shield and the king or warrior becomes just a man. Then he says, not this, not this, says the Shruti, in dismissing all attributes. Follow this method to reject the unreal in the dream or the snake in the rope. Doing away with Upadhi by meditation will lead you to that which remains. That means when you disintegrate yourself with all these conditionings by regular steady practice of meditation, going inward and inward till you reach the point where all the upadhis are taken out, that thou art Tattvamasi, and that is Brahman. You feel that you are none other than Brahman himself. That is the final realization. When that realization comes, there is no more secret, everything is revealed, and you become perfect Jnani. That's what all the spiritual teachers have said, knowing which you know everything. So, we are all under the great influence of Upadhis. How the jiva suffers in a snake body, how the soul suffers in tiger body, how the soul suffers in animal's body, and how the soul suffers in human body. Same soul is suffering. Suffering is because it is attached to the body. It is conditioned. So the soul has created the bodies on account of the samskaras the soul generated during his life period. So it all depends upon how you put your practice and how you follow the spiritual path. The truth is, you must disidentify yourself with all the upadhis. You are that pure Brahman, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am that pure self, beyond body, mind, senses, intellect. I am that consciousness, ever blissful. Page 994. Rakkal said, 995, many people think that it is enough not to look at the face of a woman. But what will you gain merely by turning your eyes to the ground at the sight of a woman? Narendra put it very well last night when he said, woman exists for a man as long as he has lust. Free from lust, one sees no difference between man and woman. Yam said, how true it is. Children do not see the difference between man and woman. Rakkal, therefore I say that we must practice spiritual discipline. How can one attain knowledge without going beyond Maya? Let us go to the big hall. Some gentlemen have come from Baranagar. Narendra is talking with them. Let's go and listen to him. Yam did not enter the room. As he was pacing outside, he overheard some of the conversation. Narendra said, "There is no fixed time or place for the Sandhya and other devotions." Gentleman asked, "Sir, can one realize God through spiritual practice alone?" Narendra said, "Realization depends on God's grace." Shri Krishna says in the Gita, "The Lord, O Arjun, dwells in the hearts of all beings, causing them by his Maya to revolve as if mounted on a machine. Take refuge in him with all thy heart, O Bharata. By his grace will you attain supreme peace and eternal abode." Without the grace of God, merely worship and prayer do not help at all. Therefore, one should take refuge in him. Gentleman asked, "May we come now and then and disturb you?" Narendra said, "Please come whenever you like. We take our baths in the Ganges at your ghat." Gentleman said, "I don't mind that, but please see that others don't use it." Gentleman said, "No, I don't mean exactly that, but if you see other people using it, then you had better not go." It was dusk. The evening worship was over. The devotees, as usual, sang in chorus, reading from the Guru Gita. Narendra sang, "I salute the eternal teacher, who is the embodiment of the bliss of Brahman, the essence of knowledge and liberation, the giver of supreme joy, who is all pervading like the Akasha, and is the goal of the Vedanta's teachings, who is one, eternal, stainless, pure, and is a constant witness of all things, who dwells beyond all moods, transcending the three gunas." Narendra sang again, "There is none higher than the Guru, none better than the Guru. This is what Shiva has declared. I shall sing of the blessed Guru, the Supreme Brahman. I shall worship the blessed Guru, the Supreme Brahman. I shall meditate on the blessed Guru, the Supreme Brahman. I shall bow down to the blessed Guru, the Supreme Brahman." As Narendra sang these verses from the Guru Gita in his melodious voice, the minds of the devotees became steady like a candle flame in a windless place. Let us stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Own name streams down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when the instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, For thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding beauty of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.